Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom and welcome back to today's Daf Pesachim Chafez. Yesterday the Gemara asked the question, how do we know that chametz on Pesach is not only asur ba'achila but also asur ba'hana? How do we know that we can't derive any benefit from chametz on Pesach? And the Gemara responded with a machlekes. According to Chizkiah, the reason is because the pasuk says, Lo yei ochel chametz. Chametz may not be eaten. The fact that the pasuk chooses to use this term yei ochel rather than simply saying lo soichal chametz, lo soichlu, lo yei ochel teaches us that the chametz can't produce any eating. Rashi explains, if you'd be allowed to have hana from the chametz, for instance, sell it, you can take that money and purchase food with it. So the chametz in effect is leading into an achila. It's resulting in achila. And even that you may not do. So apparently you cannot have any hana from chametz. That was Chizkiah's approach. Lo yei ochel denotes Isser hana as well. Rabbi Yehuda said, anytime the Torah makes any reference to Isser achila, in whichever way it chooses, whether lo soicha, lo soichlu, or lo yachel, that not only is referring to achila, but also to hana. Apparently, according to Rabbi Yehuda, deriving benefit, enjoyment from something is also a form of consuming it. And that's included in the Isser of achila. The Gemara will present three cases where we find all of the Torah makes reference to Isser achila, but for some reason, Isser hana is not included. And this will be a kasha on Rabbi Yehuda. We'll have to try to figure out why that's the case. Says the Gemara Chabez Amar Aleph, 5 lines from the top of the Amid. Masiv Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha. So ask the kasha on Rabbi Yehuda. We find that the Torah, when discussing Gid Hanasha, tells you can't eat it, but it appears that it's only Isra Achila, not Hana. So it's a kasha on Rabbi Yehuda. Already Gid Hanasha. What happened to Gid Hanasha? The Rachmana Amar, it says in the Torah, Al Kain Lo Yoichlu Bnei Yisrael Es Gid Hanasha. So as a result of the struggle with the Malach of Esav, where the Malach dislocated Yaakov Avinu's thigh, we're not allowed to eat the Gid Hanasha, this sinew of the animal, and the Torah uses the word Lo Yoichlu, don't eat it. Utnan, however, we learned in a Mishnah which indicates that you can have hana from it. Shaleich Adam Yerech L'Nachri, a person can send the hind part of the animal to the guy, so you can send the thigh. And inside there's a Gid Hanasha. Nikar. There's no concern about perhaps a Yisrael observing this transaction here. And I'll say, well, look, the Yisrael is sending the animal to the guy. Apparently he has already removed the Gid Hanasha. And this will lead the Yisrael to purchase it from the guy and mistakenly eat it with the Gid Hanasha inside. I'll say, well, how did Yisrael send it with the Gid Hanasha? Apparently he first removed it. We're not concerned about that because its place is visible, meaning you see when it's missing. You see when the Gid Hanasha has been removed. And the fact that the Gid Hanasha is still in there is something pretty evident and obvious. In any case, we see from here that a Yisrael can send the yerech, the thigh of the animal, the hind portion with the Gid Hanasha. Even though he's currying favor with the guy, he derives some sort of hana from his ability to send this gift to the guy, so you can have hana from Gid Hanasha. Says the Gemara Kesava Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda holds that you know why you could have hana from Gid Hanasha? Kishehutra nevela, because when the Torah was matir nevela bahana, we learned yesterday that the Torah clearly tells us you can take your nevela and sell it to a guy. You can have hana from nevela. So when the Torah did that, the heter was applied to everything within the animal. Kishehutra nevela the flesh itself, v'chelba, and the fat inside, v'gida, and the gid, hutra, everything was included in the heter. Because the Torah says you can have hana from a nevela animal, evidently everything in there is included in the heter hana. And that includes the Gid Hanasha as well. Let's see Rashi inside. So where Rashi widens, right before the wide lines, about 8 lines above that. Rashi begins with Shaleich Adam Yerech Nachri. So you can send the Yerech, V'loi Matzrechina Lital Gida. And there's no need for him to first remove the Gid Hanasha. and there's no concern. Shema Yuri Yisrael Chaveroi. Perhaps his friend the Yisrael will say, well, look, the Yisrael is sending to the guy, and his friend will go purchase it from the guy, and he'll figure that, he'll assume that the sender had already removed the Gid Anashe. Since it emerged from the possession of Yisrael, apparently the fact that he let it go shows that he removed the Gid. And the customer will go and eat the Yerach together with the Gid, assuming the Gid has already been removed. There's no such concern with Pesha Mekoyim Nikar. You can tell whether or not it had been removed. Okay, so there's no concern about accidental consumption. However, Shamina Mina Miha. But at least we see from here, the Gid Mutter Bahana, one can have enough Gid Hanasha, Vikasha, Rabbi Avo. It's a kasha on Rabbi Avo. It tells us that whenever the Torah makes reference to Achila, such as by Gid Hanasha, where it says, Al Ken Lo Yoichlu B'nei Yisrael Es Gid Hanasha. Not only is Isra Achila included, but it also includes Hano. Says the Gemara, continues Rashi, Hi v'chelba v'gida hutra. When the Torah was a matter and avela, the heter included the basar, the chelev, and the gid. Lefichach kol chelev v'chol gid mutar b'hano. Everything inside the animal is mutar b'hano. Shein b'chlal leger asher b'sharecha tisnana v'achala. It's included in the heter of granting it to the ger, selling it to the guy. Shegam hein kruin iman avela. Because the chelev and the gid are also included in the nevela classification of the animal. V'harei lecha heter no, belav the gid. So here we have a Torah itself giving us a heter to have a no from a gid. Loishna nevela, loishna kshera. It's irrelevant whether we're speaking about a animal which is kosher, was shechted properly, or nevela. The fact that the Torah says you can have hana from a nevela, which includes everything within it, even the gid hanashim, that indicates that there's no iser hana from a gid hanashim. Whether the gid hanashim belongs to a nevela or a kosher animal doesn't matter. The Torah removed the iser hana from the gid hanashim. Continues the Gemara. So this concept that the gid is included in the heter nevela only works. It only works according to the shita that says yesh begidim b'neisin tam. Let's say a person takes the gid hanashe, which is asur b'achila, and cooks it in the same pot with other meat. Let's say. So there's a machlekes whether this gid hanashe has enough flavor in it, meaty flavor, for it to impart and transmit the flavor to others inside the same pot and make it asur. That's one sheet. Yesh begidin b'neisin tam. There's enough flavor in the gid to actually impart flavor to the other ingredients in the pot and make it asur. So the gid is considered somewhat basar. It has enough flavor to be classified as basar. So yeah, according to that shita, when the Torah was mater, and available hana, it included the gid hanashe as well. Why? Because the Torah says, look, you cannot eat an avela. Right? So we're dealing with something which is edible. Don't eat it. But you may have hana, you can sell it to the guy, give it to the ger. So only something which is edible is included in that directive. The Torah is not including something which is inedible. So according to the shita that gidim have enough flavor, so the gid has a din of a basar and is included in the nevela discussion. And that's how we know that the gid is mutar b'hana. Elo l'man amar ein begidim b'neisin tam. According to the other shita, that there's not enough flavor in the gid to give off tam to others. It's considered like something inedible. It actually says like an eitz ba'alma, piece of wood. So if that's the case, Michael Lemema, what are you going to say? Meaning, you can't include it in the nevela heter. The Torah says, look, don't eat nevela, implying that we're dealing with something which is edible. The meat, the fat. And then the Torah says, well, you can have anah from it. So something which is edible is included in that discussion. Don't eat it, but have anah. But a gid which is inedible is in a class of its own. It's a new issa. Don't eat a piece of wood. The gid hanashe is like an eitz ba'alma. So it's not included in the nevela context. And the heter applied to the nevela, which is only something which is edible, won't apply to the gid hanashe. So that takes us back to the question, so why is the gid hanashe mutar b'hana? That's why you're right. Man shamasli, the Amar ein begided b'nei tam. Who is the man, the Amar, who holds, who you heard that he holds, that there's no tam in the gid? Who is that shita? Rabbi Shimon, right? The Sanya. If a person should eat from the gid hanasha of a non-kosher animal, Rabbi Yehuda Mechayev Shtayim, he says there are two liabilities. Number one, he gid hanasha. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the gid of even a behemoth tmeya is aser. And number two, he ate part of a behemoth tmeya, so he gets two malchus. He did two averos. Rabbi Shimon Paiter, he says, completely exempt. Why? Because number one, Rabbi Shimon holds that gid hanasha only applies to behemoth Torah. That's number one. Number two, he holds that gid is different than the basar. It's inedible. So even if it belongs to a behemoth tmeya, there's no chiv. He didn't eat anything edible. So we see clearly that according to Rabbi Shimon, a gid is rendered, is classified as something like an eitz ba'alma, like something inedible. Says him, okay, so according to Rabbi Shimon, you're right. Rabbi Shimon hachinami de asur b'hano. According to Rabbi Shimon, you're right. Again, hanasha is also asur b'hano. So what was your kasha? According to Rabbi Vo, the Torah says that you shouldn't eat a gid hanasha. Any reference to Isachil includes Yisra hana. So why is the gid hanasha mutter? The answer was because when the Torah was matter nevela, it included gid hanasha. Well, that's only because gid hanasha is edible and is deemed as part of the achil of the nevela. But if the gid hanasha is something inedible, like an eitz ba'alma, why would it be included in the discussion of nevela? And why would you have a heter? So the Gemara says you're right. Rabbi Shimon is the one that holds that a gid doesn't have enough flavor to be considered food. Rabbi Shimon hachanami de asur b'hano. You're right. According to Rabbi Shimon, it's asur b'hano. The sani gid hanasha mutar b'hano. The Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda says it's mutar b'hano because it's considered edible, and when the Torah was matter nevela, it included everything inside the animal, including the gid hanasha. Rabbi Shimon Oiser, he says it's asur b'hano because according to him, it cannot be included in the heter nevela because it's inedible. It's in a class of its own. It's a special isser despite the fact that it's not edible. And that isser applies not only to achila, but also to hana. Continues to with another kasha on Rabbi Avo. Varei dam. What about blood? Drachmana amar kol nefesh mikem lo yiseichal dam. Pasuk says you're not meant to eat dam. So we have a reference to isser achila. And we still find that it's mutar b'hana v'tanan, elu v'elu. Mis'arvim b'ama. The leftover dam of the karbonis, pnimios, that meant to be brought to the heichal, and the ones meant to be brought outside, both of those remnants, mis'arvim ba'ama, both bloods mix into the stream in the Azar. It was called the Amma because it was Amma wide, and it would flow through that stream, v'yoytzil nachal Kidron, out to the Kidron Valley, v'nemkar ganon, will be sold to the farmers, liz zevel, to use for fertilizer. Ummi alam boy, if they don't pay up, then they have done an Isser Me'ila midrabanan. In any case, we see that one can derive Hana from Dam, despite the fact that the Torah says it's Asr Ba'achila. According to Rabbi Vo, Isra Achila includes Isra Hana. How can you have Hana from Dam? Shani Dam de Iska Shlamayim. Dam is different because the Torah connected it with a hekesh to water. And just as water is mutar b'hana, likewise Dam. T'chsiv lo yisechlenu, not meant to eat Dam. Ala oretz yishbechenu kamayim, spill it out in the oretz like water. We see that connection between dam and water. Ma mayim mutarn, just as water is mutar b'hano. Av dam mutar, likewise dam is mutar b'hano. Ve'ema kamayim hamasnaschem al gabe mizbech. Fine, the Torah connects it to water, perhaps to the water meant to be poured on the mizbech, which is asur b'hano. Omar Rabbi Avo. So Rabbi himself answered, kamayim, roiv mayim. In fact, the Torah says, Ala oretz, tishbechenu ka mayim. Ka is the known water, the majority of water, which is mutter. So the Torah connects dam to the majority of water, not to that particular specific water poured on the mizbech, but rather to the general majority of water, which is mutter. Ka mayim, roiv mayim. Midi roiv mayim ksiv. Where does the Torah say the majority of water? Perhaps the Torah is connecting it to this very specific type of water, which is meant to be poured on the mizbech, which is asur b'hana. Ella amar Rav Ashi, kamayim hanishbach v'loy kamayim hanisachim. We connect dam to water which is nishbach. Ala earth tishbechenu kamayim. So which water is meant to be just spilled out on the floor? Ordinary water. And that's what the Torah is connecting the dam to. V'loi kamayim hanesachah, not to the mayim meant to be poured on the mizbech, not meant to be spilled out on the floor. Says the Gemara, ve'ema kamayim hanishpochen v'yavad. Okay, so we connect dam to mayim hanishpochen. But which ones? Maybe the mayim which is meant to be poured right in front of the avodah zarah. Meaning, we know that if a person takes water, pours it before the avodah zarah, and worships avodah zarah in that manner, that water is asur b'hana, it's takreves avodah zarah. So perhaps it's to that water that's being spilled out on the floor before the avodah zarah that the Torah is connecting the dam to. Says the Gemara, Asam namei nisach ikri. Even the water spilled before the avodah zarah is referenced to with the term nisach. They'll drink the wine of their pouring. So since it's being used in the service of avodah zarah, the Torah refers to it as nisach. So apparently when the Torah here is connecting dam to mayim hanishpachim, evidently we're not speaking about water poured on the mizbeach or water poured before the avodah zarah, where the Torah refers to it as nisach and not shvicha. Rather, the Torah is connecting dam to ordinary water, the majority of water, which is mutter. So we learn from there, just as mayim is mutter b'hana, likewise, dam is mutter b'hana. Okay, so this kasha was on Rabbi Yehuda, that we find the Torah says you may not eat dam, but still it's mutter b'hana. Why is that? The response was because we have a hekesh between dam and water, and that is matter the dam b'hana. Now the kasha is, according to Chizkiah, what's the point of this hekesh? According to him, only when the Torah uses the word ye'achel, when the Torah employs that unique term lo ye'achel chametz, we know that the hana is included, but just plain reference to Isser Achila doesn't necessarily include hana. So although the Torah says you may not eat dam, that doesn't include hana. There's no reason to assume that there's hana. Isser hana included. So why, according to Chizkiah, does the Torah have to trouble itself to connect dam to mayim? What's the purpose of that hekesh? Says the Gemara, Chizkiah l'may hilchasa iskish l'dam l'mayim. According to him, what's the point of the hekesh between dam and water? What is it coming to teach us? It's coming to teach us the following halacha. From where do we know that the dam of karbonis doesn't have the ability to be machsher? So if it gets the fruit wet, the fruit is not hechsher, not huchsher, it's not susceptible to tumah. Shenemar. From this pasuk, lo yisechlenu, ala oretz tishbechenu kamayim. Don't eat dam. Spill it out on the floor like mayim. We learn from here that only something which is similar to mayim, which is meant to be spilled out, that liquid will have the ability to be machsher. Dam shenishbach kamayim machsher. Only dam which is meant to be spilled out like water is, that dam has the ability to be machsher. So for instance, dam of non-kosher. However, she'ein nishbach kamayim. Dam of a carbon which is not meant to be spilled out, it's meant actually to be contained in the kli and brought on the mizbeach. Eile machsher, that cannot be machsher. So according to Chizkiah, the hekesh comes to teach us that dam kachim doesn't have the ability to be machsher. Continues the Gemara with another kasha on Rabbi Yehuda. We have another instance where the Torah makes reference to Isra Achila. However, we seem to find that it doesn't include hana. And that's a kasha on Rabbi Yehuda, who maintains that any reference to Isra Achila automatically includes hana. One may not eat the flesh of a living being because it's together with the nefesh. So Eivim Nachai has a reference of lo soicha. We may not eat. V'tanya. However, we learned Rabbi Nasnaimer, how do we know that a person may not hand a glass of wine to a nazir? Or a limb of a living being to a guy. Guy may not eat. It's one of the Sheva mitzvahs b'nei noyach. So how do we know we can't serve them these things? Talmud loyma lifnei iver lo yisita michshol. We may not place a michshol, a stumbling block, before a blind person. So by handing them these things which are asa, whether the wine to the nazir or the Eivim Menachai to the ben noyach, you're causing them a michshol, pitfall. So what does this indicate? The problem was only because of the milchshel. But to have anah from it, to curry favor with him, you can have anah from these things. Hold the klavim shari, or for instance, if you want to feed it to your dog, you may have anah from it. So here we're just prohibiting it because he's causing him a pitfall. But the actual handing it, which curries favor, Taisa says actually we're speaking that the Eiver Menachai belongs to the guy, but the fact that you're handing it to him, you're helping him, that is considered a hana. The guy is machzik toveli Yisrael. He curries favor in the eyes of the guy. So how can you have enough from the Eiver Menachai? The Torah said you're not meant to eat it. According to Ravo, lo yisaycha will include Isra hana. Shani Eiver Menachai the iskash ladam. Eiver Menachai is different because the Torah connects it with the hekesh to dam. And we just learned that dam is mutter b'hana. Likewise, Eiver Menachai. T'chsiv, rak chazak, strengthen yourself. Levilti echol adam, not to eat dam, ki adam or nefesh, because the dam is the nefesh. So we learn from here that just as dam is mutter b'hana, as we just learned a minute ago, likewise, Eiver Menachai. Says the Gemara, okay, so according to Revo, we understand why the Torah needs to be makish to connect the Eiver Menachai to dam, to teach us that it's mutter b'hana. But according to Chizkiah, why is the hekesh necessary? In any case, there wouldn't be any basis for Issa hana, because the Torah merely says lo yisaychal, doesn't say lo yachel. So what's the point of the hekesh? Or the Chizkiah l'may hilchasa iskish Eiver Menachai l'dam. According to Chizkiah, what's the point of the hekesh between Eiver Menachai and dam? Oh malach, so Chizkiah responds to you like this. It's actually a reverse connection. Dam, with the iskish Eiver Menachai. It's dam that's meant to be connected to Eiver Menachai, and dam is meant to learn to derive a halacha from Eiver Menachai, as follows. Ma Eiver Menachai asr. Just as an Eiver Menachai is asr, right? Af dam Menachai asr. Likewise, even dam from a living being is asr. Rashi explains because before the pasuk speaks about the isur achilas dam, the Torah speaks about shchita of an animal. Perhaps we can speculate and suggest that the isur dam is only applicable to dam coming out of a dead animal, like the dam from shchita. How do we know that even blood coming from a live creature is asur? That's what the hekesh is coming to teach us. Just as the Eiver Menachai is asur, likewise dam Menachai is asur. Ve'ezeh, what is this? It's a dam hakaza. This is the bloodletting, shanish nefesh yoytzuboy, that the nefesh comes out with it. Rashi explains, as long as it's flowing, we know that it contains the nefesh. So according to Chizkiah, the chiddush is that even dam Menachai is asur, just as Eiver Menachai. So at this point we had three kashas Rabbi Avo. Number one from Gid Anasha, number two from dam, number three from Eiver Menachai, where the Torah makes reference to achila, but we still find that it's mutter b'hana. And the Gemara responded and explained why in each case we allow hana to a special limud or hekesh, which teaches us that it's mutter b'hana. Now the Gemara will conclude with two kashas on both, on Chizkiah and Rabbi Avo. We have two cases where the Torah actually employs the term ye'achel, lo ye'achel, and we still seem to find that it's mutter b'hana. There's a kasha on both Rabbi Avo and Chizkiah. Varishon and Niskal. A shayr who gored and killed somebody, he's meant to be stoned. The Rachmana Amar lo ye'achel es b'sarai. Although the Torah says its flesh is not meant to be eaten, ye'achel, which is meant to include not only achila but also hana. And still no, we find a brisa where it seems it's not so simple that it's asur b'hana. V'tanya mimash mashanemar sokol yisokol ashor. The brisa asks like this: we already know that we meant to stone the shor, give it skila. So once we know that, don't we automatically know that it's an nevela? It's not shechted. Nevela asur b'achila, and it's asur to be eaten. So why does the Torah have to add lo yachel es b'sari? You may not eat the basar. It's an nevela. It's asur. Apparently, the pasuk is teaching us a chiddush. Magid l'cha. The pasuk is informing you. Magid l'cha kasav shem shachtei la'acha shenigmar dinah asur. Even if it's yet before the skila. He shechted it before the skila, right after the gemardin, after the verdict was issued. It is already asur. Asur b'achila. Ainli ela b'achila. Okay, so we know achila because it says lo yachal es b'sari. Ba'ano menai. What about isra hana? How do you know that it's asr b'hana as well? Talmud leimar u'bal ashar naki. The owner of the shur is naki. How do you see hana from there? My mashma. Shimon ben Zoyma Omer. Ka'adam she'omer l'chaver. Like a person tells his friend, Yotza ploini naki min chasam. This fellow over there, he was bereft, completely cleaned out from his assets. Ve'ein loy bahem hanosh and klum, and he has absolutely no benefit from his nechasim. So Baal Ashur Naki comes to tell us that the owner of this ox is Naki. He's completely detached. He can't have any hana from his shur. So the kasha was, why does the Torah have to tell you it's asr b'achila? If at any rate it's going to be stoned, the Torah says if he shechts it before the stoning, it's also asr, but not only b'achila, even b'ana, because Baal Ashur Naki comes to teach us that. Ta'ama de kasaf, u'Baal Ashur Naki. That's only because the pasuk explicitly said u'Baal Ashur Naki to add isra hana on top of the isra achila. Di'i mi lo yachal, because if it were only for the first pasuk lo yachal, isra achila mashma. Yeah, it would teach us isra achila, isra hana le mashma, but it would not imply isra hana. This is a kasha now. Why? Why does the Torah have to add Baal Ashur Naki to inform us about isra hana? Lo yachal is b'sorei, already included isra hana. Lo yachal includes not only eating but also hana. Says the Gemara, La'olam lo yachal isra achila v'isra hana mashma. You're right, of course. Lo yachal includes both. If that's the case, why do we need Baal Ashur Naki to come teach us a new halach? Baal Ashur Naki lanas oira yuda asa. It's coming to inform us that not only is the basar asr, but also the oira, the hide, the skin of the animal, is off limits. Why was that necessary? The pasuk needs to inform us that the oira is asr. Perhaps I would say lo yachal b'sari. Yeah, the basar cannot be eaten. B'sari, yeah, the basar oira lo, but not the hide. Kamash malon. That's what the pasuk needs to add. Baal Ashur Naki. Not only is the basar asr b'hana, but the oyer as well. Continues the Gemara. Ulahanach tanoi. But there are other tanoim who actually apply the pasuk of Baal Ashur Naki to teach us something else. So according to them, how are they going to know that there's an isra hana from the skin of the animal? Ulahanach tanoi, according to the other tanoim, the mapkile lahid drasha achrina, who apply this drasha, this pasuk of Baal Ashur Naki for a different drasha. For instance, lachatzi koifer, ulme velodos. So you know that an animal who's a muad, habitual gorer, and he kills somebody, then the owner has to pay up, he has to compensate, he has to pay koifer for the person that he killed. Or if the muad, he harmed a expectant woman and he damaged the vlad, he has to pay for that. That only applies to a muad. A shur tam who is unwarned, in that case, even if you kill somebody who removes the vlades, there's no need to pay. Although generally when it comes to paying the zak and the damages, he has to pay half, chatzi nezek. But he doesn't have to pay chatzi koifer. If the animal killed somebody, if the animal is still in a state of tam, unwarned, then he doesn't have to compensate. He doesn't even have to pay half the koifer, or the dmei vlades of the isha. So Baal Ashur Naki is come to exempt the shar tam from chatzi koifer and for dmei vlades. If that's the case, hanas oiroi menalu. So these the Tanaim who already used the pasuk elsewhere, how are they going to know that the hide of the behemoth is asr b'hana? Nafkalu me'es besari. They will derive this halacha from the word es. Lo yachal es besari. Es is an extra word. Es hatafel besari, something which is secondary, subordinate to the flesh, which is the skin of the animal. V'idach. And the other Shita, who already learned the oyer from Baal Ashur Naki, what is he going to do with the word es, which seems to be superfluous? Es le dorish, he doesn't expound on es. As we're going to see in the Brisa, that there was a Shita which held that we're not meant to darshan the word es. Kedesanya Shimon Hamsuni, that was his name. Ba'amilo, some say it was Nechemia Hamsuni. Hayadorish? Kol esem shabatorah. He was accustomed to being durish every S that he found in the Torah. that is coming to add and include something extra. Once he got to the pasuk, which discusses having fear of Hashem, and the pasuk includes the word es Hashem al-kechatira. What could we apply the es for? What could we include? Nothing equates to Hashem, to the fear of Hashem. Pirish. So he backtracked. He backed off. So that's it. I'm no longer expounding, darshaning on the word es. Amalei Talmidav. So his Talmidim told him, what about all that work that he put into the drushes of the es in the entire Torah? The pasuk of es Hashem al-kich is actually in Dvarim. So all through Chumash, Bereish, Shemai, all the es, what happened to all that effort? Amalei Talmidav Rebbe, Kol Esem Shedarashta. Mati Alein, what's going to be with all those esen that you would derish? Amalem, he told them, I'm not worried. Keshem Shekibalti Schar Ladrisha. Just as I had received schar from Hashem for all that effort they invested in being derish those esen, because at that point I figured it's correct to go ahead and darshan the esen. Kach ani mekabel schar l'prisha. Likewise, I will get schar for backing away. As Rashi explained, he backed off from all the esen, because if this es is not coming to include anything, apparently the word es is not something that a drasha is meant to apply to. So that was his opinion, because he got stuck by es Hashem al-kechatira. The Sheba Rabbi Akiva v'darsh, until Rabbi Akiva came along and he said, no, I have a drasha, even for es Hashem al-kechatira. He said like this, es Hashem al-kechatira, l'rabbis, what is it coming to include? Talmidei chachamim. As Rashi brings the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, that one is meant to have moira rabach k'moira shemayim. The fear of your Rebbe is meant to be like the fear of Hashem. The Rebbe teaches you Torah. He expresses the will of Hashem. So the fear of the Talmud Chacham is somewhat equated, connected, and related to the fear of Hashem. So it's not negating Hashem or the fear of Hashem. Talmud Chacham is expressing Hashem's will, Hashem's Torah, and it's perfectly fine to apply the drush of es in this pasuk to a Talmud Chacham. Let's take a look at Rashi, perhaps. So Rashi here is, if you count from the bottom of the Amud, about 15 lines up. So he said like this: we're trying to look for a makar of the oyer. How do we know the hide of the animal is asur b'hana? So either it's from ubal ashar naki, or from lo yachal es. Es pesari, es is referring to the skin as well. It says Rashi v'idach. Now the other shita who already learnt the oyer from ubal ashar naki, v'idach the nafkale hanas oyer minaki. So what is he going to do with the word es? Lo yachal es pesari. Es le darish le ribuya. He doesn't use it for a ribuy. This savelo kishim and amsuni. He goes like this Tana. Shepirish kol esen shebeter. Initially, he was mefarish. He expounded on all the es words found in the Torah. The rabbis that is coming to include something. However, kiven shegel es Hashem kechatira. Omar, he exclaimed. He said, "Ma'arbe lira imay." What could I include in the fear within the context of the fear of Hashem? And as a result of that, Pireish Mikulan, he backed away from everything that he did, from all the drushes. Why? Because if this one is not meant to be darshaned, so the other ones as well. If this is not coming to include anything, the other ones as well, not coming to include anything. However, Rabbi Akiva said no. The es is coming the fear of your Rebbe. It's like the fear of Hashem. So we had a kasha on both Chizkiah and Rabbi Avo from the fact that by Shor HaNiskel, the pasuk says Lo Yochel Es Besari, despite the fact that the Torah says Lo Yochel Es Besari, which would include Isra Achil and Hana, according to Chizkiah and Rabbi Avo, we still need to have a pasuk of Balashar Naki to say Hana is Asr. Why is that? And one responded, it's merely coming to add the oyer, the hide of the animal, and include it in the Isra Hana. because lo yachal basari perhaps would only be referring to the basar, not the oir. That's why we need an extra pasuk for the oir as well. Continues the Gemara. We have another example of the Torah employing the term lo yachal, and we still find that there will be room for heter hana, and that's a kasha on Chizki and Rabbi Yehuda. Very arla. Rachmana Amar areilim lo yachal. So the Torah says the first 3 years of a fruit tree lo yachal, it shouldn't be eaten. So lo yachal should really include achila and hana, and we still find a brisa v'tanya areilim lo yachal. From here, perhaps we only know you can't eat. How do we know that you can't have hana from the arla fruit? Or for instance, to use it as dye. Or to use it to light in a lamp. So you have 3 mentionings of arla. A triple mention. Varaltim, that's one. Arlasai and Arelim. The Rabbi says Kulam is coming to include all these forms of hana. Taisus explains is 3 psukim, and we have to have all 3 because we're dealing with 3 different forms of benefit. There's Menai Shlo Yenim, that's direct hana. And then we have Shlo Yitzbabai. You shouldn't even use it for dyeing, for coloring, which isn't really such a tangible direct hana. That's another chiddush. And finally, that's another chiddush because the hana here is being derived during the destruction of the arla. Perhaps that would be okay. So that's why we need 3 psukim, 3 references to arla, which is coming to say, 3 types of hana is also. Says the Gemara, Tamat Kasser Rachmana Varaltim Arla Se'arelim. That's only because the Torah 3 times repeated arla to teach you that it's asr b'hana. But otherwise, have amina. I would think Isra achila mashma, Isra no le mashma. That despite the fact that the pasuk says Areilim lo yachil, it is only mashma Isra achila not hana. How can that be? Says the Gemara lo olam lo yachil. No, certainly the word lo yachil is mashma bein Isra achila, bein Isra hana. So why then do we need a pasuk to teach us Isra hana? Shani hasan b'chsiv lochem, because the pasuk says lochem. Shalosh shanim yeh lochem. And lochem sounds like heter. It should be yours. You can have enough from it. V'yitzrich. And that's why it's needed. Perhaps I would say, hoyil v'kasav lochem shalochem yeh. Since the pasuk says lochem, that insinuates that it's yours. It's your. You can have enough from it. Kumashmo. And that's why the Torah has to spell it out 3 times. Arla araltem, arla se'arelim. That you can't have enough. Says the Gemara, but now that the pasuk already tells us that it's also b'hana, 3 times the Torah makes reference to Arla. Lochem lamli. So why does the pasuk have to say lochem? Which sounds like it is yours, you can have enough from it. What's the point of the word lochem? Says the Gemara is coming to teach us another halach. Look at this sign. Lochem is coming to tell us l'rabbis esanatur l'rabbim. It's coming to include even a public tree. Something meant for public use, even that has dinam of arla. So the first 3 years of that fruit tree, you may not eat it. That's the Tanakama. Rabbi Yehuda lo haitzi. That's not a tola rabbim. Actually, just the opposite. Lochem is coming to exclude a public tree. Explains the Gemara. My time of Tanakama. What is the Tanakama's basis? He says lochem is coming to add, to include even a publicly owned tree. The pasuk begins by saying unatatem. And then later it says lochem. Says the Tanakama, unatatem sounds like we're speaking to an individual. L'yachid mashma, l'rabim mashma. It sounds like we're speaking like to an individual who's generally the person who will plant a fruit tree. L'yachid mashma, l'rabim mashma. It's not mashma, we're speaking to a rabbim, who generally don't plant fruit trees. So unatatem would seem to be referring only to a privately owned tree. That's what the pasuk has to add. Kasav rachmana lochem, lohavis and atul rabbim. That's what the pasuk says. Lochem, which is plural, coming to add. Even a tree which was planted for the sake of public use, a publicly owned tree, a publicly accessed tree, a publicly used tree, even that tree has dinam of arla. That's the Tanakama. For Rabbi Yehuda, he says just the opposite, because unatatem mashma bein l'rabbim bein l'yachid. He holds that natatem can be even referring to a publicly owned tree. Bein l'rabbim, bein l'yachid. So natatem will include any type of tree for dinim of arla. Then the pasuk adds again, v'lochem ben yochel ben rabbi mashma. When the pasuk says the word lochem, that also is referring to whether a privately owned tree or publicly planted tree. So we have a double inclusion. Have a riba achariba. We have one riba, unatatim, implying yochel or rabbim. We have lochem, implying yochel and rabbim. So we have a double riba. And this is a formula when it comes to drashes. Ve'ein riba achariba ela l'mayit. When the Torah has a riba and then another riba, it's actually coming to exclude and limit. And that's why Rabbi Yehuda says, apparently the Torah is being a mayit. A tree that belongs to a rabbim and only a privately owned tree has dinim of arla. So the most recent kasha from arla was that although the pasuk says lo ya'achal, which should include achila and hana according to all shittas, nevertheless we find that we need another pasuk for hana. Otherwise we wouldn't know hana. Why? Why isn't hana automatically included? Gemara said because that very same pasuk also has a word lochem, which can sound like, yeah, we grant it to you, you can have hana from it. That's why the pasuk has to express itself clearly. No, you may not even have hana from the arla. Okay, time for a brief review of today's daf. We had 5 kashas in our Gemara. The first 3 were on Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda holds that whenever the Torah makes reference to Isra Achila, in whichever way it makes that reference, whether lo ya'achel, lo soichlu, lo soichal, it automatically includes not only Isra Achila but also Isra Hana. Says Gemara, we have 3 cases where the Torah makes reference to Achila, but it doesn't seem to include Isra Hana. First case was Gid Hanashe. And the Gemara says, well, you're right, it's not Asr B'Hana because when the Torah was matter and available B'Hana, it included the Gid Hanashe as well. Gemara actually told us that according to Reb Shimon it would be Asr because the Gid Hanashe is not included in the Nevela and is not considered to be edible like the Nevela, and therefore is still Asr B'Hana because the het of the Nevela doesn't apply to something inedible. Second kasha was from Dam. Why is Dam Mutar B'Hana? The Gemara responded because it's connected to water, which is Mutar B'Hana. Why is Even Achai Mutar B'Hana? Because it's connected to Dam, which is Mutar B'Hana. We concluded with 2 kashas on both Chizki and Rabbi Yehuda from Shar Niskal and Arla, where the Torah uses the word Ya'achel, Lo Ya'achel, which should include Achila and Hana. And despite that, when it comes to Shar Niskal, we find that we need a pasuk of Balashar Naki to teach us Isra Hana. Why is that? Says the Gemara, you're right. When it comes to the Basar, of course, there's no need to have an additional pasuk. Lo Ya'achel Basari automatically includes Hana as well. The pasuk is needed for Hana's Oiroi to include even the skin of the animal in Isra Hana. And finally, we discussed Arla, where the Torah as well employs the term Lo Ya'achel. So why then does the Torah have to go and specify an Isra Hana? Why don't we know it from Lo Ya'achel? The Gemara says because the pasuk says Lochem, which can lead us to understand that, yeah, you can have personal benefits from the Arla. That's why the Torah has to go and express itself clearly. That is Isra Hana, and the Torah actually uses 3 terms, Araltam, Arlase, Arelim, which is in reference to 3 different forms and versions of Hana, direct Hana, using the dye, the color of the Arla, and finally, the Hadlokas in there. All these different forms of Hana are Asr by Arla.